I'm Dean Black, farm just west of Summers, Iowa up there. I have a small feedlot, raise a lot of corn and soybeans also. But I've been involved with the cattle business since about probably 5 years old, scooping the bunks on Saturday and Sunday mornings, 4 chores. From then on, it stayed in my blood. And when I graduated from Iowa State, it was tough times back on the farm. My older brother had gone back before me, and he got any extra land that Dad could give up at the time to rent. But the only thing Dad could give up to me was an empty feedlot sitting there. And so I bought my first load went to the bank and had all these great numbers and everything from Iowa State that told me how to lay it out and make everything look good. Went to the bank and they trusted my numbers, and I bought a load of cattle and been in the business ever since, and glad I did that. I've gotten a lot of opportunities from being in the business. Also, I got involved with the county organization, Cattlemen's there in Calhoun County. And at that time, Alan Albright was the president of our county organization, and he kind of took me under his wing, and helped me, try to improve what I did on my farm. And, I'm sure him and his dad and him had experienced everything in their lifetime. And so they told me what to look out for and what to expect. And the nice part is that he's going to get an award later on today, I see in the program. But from there on, I got involved in the state level. On the Iowa policy, on the policy side, served on a number of committees in the Iowa Cattlemen's policy side. And then some of my terms filled out there, and when I got off of terms there, then Nancy Degner and some of the others on the Iowa Beef Industry Council asked me if I'd come and put my name in for the National Cattlemen's Beef Board. And so I placed my name to serve as one of the positions representing Iowa on the National Cattlemen's Beef Board. And Secretary Vilsack selected me to serve, and I've served. This is my second term. I've got 2 years left. I've even been able to interview and served on the executive committee for, I think, 4 years now. So that's been a great experience, and also able to bring back what's happening on the national level to the state level. I sit in on all the Iowa Beef Industry Council meetings. I don't have a vote there, but I sit in as a representative to listen and ask questions, and so I'm there. And by being there, the one time they asked me if I'd be interested in going to Japan on a meats mission trip, and I said, I'd love to get a chance to go over and see what the other countries and how they view our product over there. And so I was able to go over to Japan the first time, and usually there's with the Iowa delegation, it's always a couple pork producers, couple beef producers, some other representatives that might have an interest in some company going on. It's more Iowa directed, a lot of those trips. And so we, as beef producers, go over there, and we meet with the buyers over there, a lot of the retail buyers that buy our meat. They want to talk to us and see what who produces that meat that we put in the meat counter is what they like to see. But from then on, I've been able to go to China. This last year, I was able to go to China twice, once with Iowa Beef Industry Council, and then in September, the U.S. Meat Export Federation asked myself and Scott McGregor, I think he's in the room back there, if we would go over and represent, they're wanting to push grain-fed, is what they were pushing on that trip over there to the market going on in Japan and China at the time. So they're great opportunities, but they're very important that we have producers go over. A lot of these countries, they don't trust the U.S. government. Well, some of them don't even trust their own government, let alone the U.S. government. And so they'd rather hear words straight from the producer's mouth than from some publication put out by the USDA or EPA or something like that. So it's very important to them. They still like face-to-face business, even though everybody has laptops and smartphones that can do a conversation thousands of miles away. They still want that face-to-face and that handshake, and it means a lot to them. A lot of times these trips are completely filled. From early morning to late at night, you have meetings. Most time we travel on Saturdays, so we do get one day, a Sunday, to do some sightseeing. So one time we were able to go out and see the Great Wall. This was very fortunate. That's clear sky over there. That's what they consider is just the perfect clear sky. And from that day on, it got worse. But that's what they deal with over there. The reason we do a lot of these mission trips and we look towards these other countries is because our export markets, as Nancy said, the value of ranges from 283 to 323, I think it's been lately, depending on which quarter or which month you look at. That's an amazing return we get out of our export meat that we sell right now that comes back to our animals. And so that's why we, as a Cattlemen's Beef Board, we designate money to go to the U.S. Meat Export Federation. They do a lot of the planning of what markets are needed to be hit the hardest, whether it's Korea, Japan, Mexico, other countries in Central America. But right now, we're still, even though China doesn't legally let us import beef, we still are trying to get over there, get our face out in front of people, get our product so it's in their mind, because that's going to be a tremendous opportunity for us. When you go to a town, and there's 23.9 million just in one town, and they're so consolidated that you can use a lot of advertising dollars and hit a lot of people. You get a lot of bang for your buck by going to these large metropolitans. 23.9 million. In Iowa, we have 3 million people in the whole state. So it's, and this lower part here in the picture, on this side of the Yangtze River, that was, we were told that was just built in the last 20 years there. And that is so much building going on there. They don't even know how many people they have out in the country, and they're building all these apartment complexes, expecting these people are going to start moving in. And like this morning, they talked about 3 billion people moving up a class and from the low class to middle class. If these people move from the country to the city, they're going to be moving up in a class in a way, and they're going to be looking to improve their protein intake. So hopefully they'll move from, say, chicken legs to some beef product. But so that's the markets we're trying to hit on these trips while we go over there. While we're over there, we'll see meats, grocery stores. We'll have taste tests going on. And a lot of them you'll see in the sign on the right. We promote things as grain-fed over there. They think that is a high, and it is a high-quality product, a grain-fed product. And so we kind of distinguish ourselves from other products by calling it grain-fed, advertising as grain-fed. And so over in those other markets, we aren't the only ones selling grain-fed type beef. Australia, Argentina are some of our main big competitors over there. So we really push. You can see the corn-fed. That's what we try to distinguish ourselves as a good quality product. Also, while we were over there, we'll meet with we had a meeting with the bloggers. They brought in, I think there was 10 of the largest food bloggers in Tokyo when we were there. They put on a cooking and how to cook pork and also how to cook beef there. And the bloggers were there all morning taking pictures and writing notes and tweeting, twatting, whatever out. And I don't do all that, but they were a busy group. It was fun to watch them. And then after they got through with that part, then they set us down at a big long table, and each one of us producers sat between a couple of them. And most of us had our tablets with them, and we were able to show our farms back home and our families, and they really took an interest in that, and that this beef that they were working with there could have been raised by a family just similar to ours, and that meant a lot to them, that to think that it wasn't some corporation raising it, that it was family fed type deal. Also, at the last meeting that I was at in Tokyo there, I was asked to be a presenter on the beef side. USMEF had put on it was an afternoon seminar. They sent out invitations, and they were expecting, hopefully they were expecting 500 500 buyers, meat buyers from Tokyo to show up. They ended up having to add chairs in the back. We had over 600 attendees to this meat buyers. Well, it was all meat buyers that came in, and it was interesting, from grocery stores to white tablecloth restaurants. Even United sent their representatives that buy their meat that are put on the planes out of Japan there. So it was a wide variety of group, and I told the story of Iowa beef, and it was a great experience. And then in one trip I went over in Korea. There's another market that's huge for us. I think it's either 4th or 5th on the list of imports for us. They're very dependent on imports of their food. Their land base is very small, very hilly. And the interesting part over there, when I gave the speech, I told the great Iowa story to them, but I had to give them this slide here, that cattle live outside in Iowa. Because over there, they think it's cruelty to animal if they're outside, having to be outside. All their animals are raised indoors, in covered sheds, confined, but they thought it was cruelty to animals to be out in the sun. So that was a learning experience, that other people in the world look at things different than we do around here. And I saw this at a recent farm magazine I picked up, and this, it's great to have information like this when you're over in those other countries and you're pushing your corn, soybean, pork, beef products over there, and you can say that they're, we aren't factory farms, we're family farms. And from the Agricultural Council of America, they said that 99% of the food produced in the United States is still produced by family farms. So we can take great pride in that. And this morning they were talking about sustainable agriculture and child labor, and I guess this is my child labor. But this was probably, excuse me, this photo probably has gone the farthest of any photo I've ever shown over there on any of my trips. It breaks the ice. After I gave the speech in Tokyo last time, we had a reception afterwards, and I just constantly had people coming up and saying, "Oh, your daughter's so cute." And then we'd get into conversations, and I'd tell them the size of the farm and stuff in the speech, and they'd come up and say, "Well, how many people really work on your farm?" And I'd say, 5 during our busiest times. They said, "No, not the people that tell people what to do. How many actually do the work?" And I said, there's 5 do that whole thing, and it boggles their mind that we are so efficient over here with what we do. But that is another case, and excuse me, that they like to see that there's a family orientation to the beef production cycle. And so, but these trade missions, there's such a connection to what we sell over there, and they want to see how it's done. They trust us as a people when they can see you and stand in front of you, when you stand in front of them and tell them how it's, how it's raised and taken care of, and that you have it in your heart in what you're doing, and you aren't wanting to put out a bad product. So I hope they can continue putting these mission trips on, and I hope a lot of others can get involved and maybe get over a chance to experience those things. So, thank you.